What's going on, everyone? Welcome to a new episode of Mostly Wrong Opinions. I am Tyrone. That is Devin. Wait, before we get into another...
Was that supposed to be Stallone?
Let's try to do it.
Some say it's only a matter of time before the city implodes.
The Samaritan stars Sylvester Stallone, a little generic white boy.
But I don't think we're supposed to know he's white because his mom's Latina. So
true, and his mama. Oh. This is a story about a superhero named the Samaritan. He wants to hide away and he wants to stay away from the public, and he doesn't want to be a superhero anymore. Just want to be a normal old guy.
And there's a terrible, just absolutely atrocious voiceover to start this movie to tell you all the backstory.
Many years ago, a battle of good versus evil was waged between Samaritan and Nemesis.
And apparently the Samaritan had a brother named Nemesis. Oh my God, just right there you know just how creative this movie is going to be. But Samaritan and Nemesis were twins and they both had the exact same powers. Obviously they looked identical and they fought to the death. Samaritan walked away and disappeared and no one knows where he went. 20 years later, you've got Sylvester Stallone, and this little boy suspects that Sylvester Stallone might be the Samaritan, now acting as an old, tired garbage man. A new villain has come to Granite City, and he wants to inspire chaos. And I guess he was really mostly inspired by Bane from The Dark Knight Rises, because he literally stands on top of a car and gives some sort of a speech and wears this silly mask. And I found him to be like not very convincing. And then he's got like this sidekick, like main goon girl. And I'm like, oh, she's going to do something interesting. Like she's going to pull out some knives or something. Yeah, she just dies in the middle of some random explosion. I feel like the actress got embarrassed and left the movie. That's kind of what it felt like.
Felt like Up and Away.
Haven't seen
Disney
that.
Channel. Up and Away.
Okay.
And also CW. Boom, you got the Samaritan.
And you know, kudos for making this if this is like an original superhero film, right? This wasn't based on any sort of DC or Marvel property. They just invented some heroes, but you would think they'd invent something more interesting. Like, I don't know, I kind of expected the movie to have something to say. Like I saw myself like really digging into this film early on. I'm like, oh, is this some sort of a weird like a hard right thing or maybe a hard left thing, because they kept calling Samaritan like a cop or something. And I'm like, oh, okay, so maybe they're trying to draw some sort of conclusion. No, like the movie this really does feel like a cash grab. Like you ever just Amazon just started, or Jeff Bezos was just digging your pockets. He was like, give me that shit. You're like, oh! The synopsis I gave is the entire film, which is weird because none of that happens on screen. So the movie essentially says all the fun stuff happened before we got here. And now here's the boring, I suppose, mystery as to whether or not Sylvester Stallone is our hero, the Samaritan.
I was looking at all the backgrounds because it was filmed here in Atlanta. And
that's all I can see.
They make this, the cinematographer in this film made this film look doomy, gloomy, wet.
And that's a good thing. That's a good thing. That I think they made Atlanta look like some sort of a northeastern, like blue collar type city or something like that. And obviously that's not what Atlanta looks like. So hey, I guess kudos to them for doing that. But the only reason I even noticed was because I was bored.
They made it look like it rains all the time.
Yeah, they made it look like Atlanta's cold and rainy and dirty as hell. I'm like, no, it's hot. I bet you Sylvester Stallone was sweating the whole time. I bet you he stank. It was terrible. And for a movie that's supposed to be like a superhero type of film, for them to have left out like the fun, that is just bizarre. Like why did they do that? What's the point of making a movie like a superhero film if no one does anything fun or even remotely interesting? There was one moment where I was like, maybe we got something here. And that's when Sylvester Stallone gets hit by a car. Pow! And then you're like, oh, okay. He gets up and he's like snapping his bones back together. And I'm like, oh, okay, that's kind of cool. And he's like steam's coming off of him. That was the height of the film. And it never, even that height wasn't that high, but it never got back to there. After that, this movie sleepwalks for another 2 hours.
Because when he gets hit, his body overheats and he has to have cold water, cold ice, cold something, which is a good thing to add in there for a character, but it's not presented correctly or even interesting enough to say the least.
And it introduces a plot hole, like 9 plot holes. So he's supposed to be indestructible, him and his brother, but then his brother died. I'm like, so how? If he's indestructible, how did his brother die? The movie doesn't really explain, but then we see a flashback, and you're not going to watch this. If you do watch it, Lord help you. I'm going to spoil it. I don't give a rat's ass. Turns out Sylvester Stallone's character is not the Samaritan. Samaritan's dead, and the villain won. And so Sylvester Stallone is actually Nemesis. And before the movie even started, the twist was obvious. I was like, what's the point of having 2 people who are identical with the same identical powers? And then we see a flashback of what happened, and apparently there's this big showdown on top of this power plant. There's fire everywhere, and Samaritan, our hero, our Superman guy, he just like slips. Nothing happens. He just like slips and falls. And I'm like, that is actually really, really funny. Like, that's like totally hilarious that Superman's like, I'll save the day, whoops, and he slips and falls to his death, you know? That's actually really funny, you know? And so I'm like, they could have done something with that. But no, the movie plays it totally straight. Like, oh no, did Samaritan fall? I'm like, what? Okay, so even if he does fall, shouldn't he be okay? Because we just saw this guy get hit by a car. Like, so shouldn't he be okay? And then at the end of the film, the whole building's on fire. So I'm like, oh, he's gonna overheat in a building that's on fire. Nope, none of that happened. Nope. The movie didn't care about its own rules, and I didn't care about the film. It was really a chore.
Now when it comes to like the fighting and the CGI that's in it, I didn't think it was that bad when it comes to the fighting and stuff like that. But it didn't have no connectivity to the story, which makes it still bad. So
well, they did like a de-aging thing on Sylvester Stallone. Yeah, that was rough. Like, why?
Do the companies that are producing these films, do they feel that they're gonna be able to get a lot of bang for their buck putting it on Amazon Prime or Netflix, knowing that the production of this, that the writing is bad, and in many movies, not just this one, but many movies, but especially this one, because they're trying to bank in on the superhero craze, but they don't have faith to put it into the theaters, and they put it out on Amazon Prime. I don't see anything that's getting knocked out of the park right now on Amazon Prime that we reviewed.
Well, I don't think they need to knock it out of the park. I'm sure this movie will probably be fine for the producers. I'm pretty sure it'll do fine. It actually probably make a lot of money, honestly. And
do you think it'll make a lot of money in the theaters though?
No, but that's not their model. Their model, this is more like the direct, back when we were back in our day. There's a direct to video type thing. And this is essentially what this is, right? This is a direct to video type of film that really just makes money by Sylvester Stallone's name and the concept alone.
Is today's direct to video Amazon Prime?
Yeah, all of streaming is not
the physical sense, but in a quality sense.
Yeah, all of streaming is direct to video. I'm sure financially, I bet you this makes a lot of sense for them, to be honest with you. I bet you makes a lot of sense for Sylvester Stallone. It makes a lot of sense for Amazon Prime. This makes money. I'll be honest with you. This probably makes money. I wouldn't worry about the money for this. But as for entertainment, my God, this is not good.
So let's get to the rating of The Samaritan. We say that this is not the cream of the crop here. I did enjoy a little bit of the special effects, and for that reason only, even though there was no payoff from it, I'm giving this a D-.
Wow, okay. I'm giving this an F. My first F. I was truly bored. You could literally turn on the film, leave, and just like not watch it for like 30 minutes, come back, and the movie has not moved. Like, this is a criminally long, slow movie, and I don't know who this is for. Like, when I saw a little kid, I was like, oh, okay, so maybe this is for kids. But then the kids like cursing hard and stuff like that. So I'm like, oh, so I guess it's not for kids. but this is not for me, and I do not recommend it. This was not fun to watch.
I gave this film a D- only because of the special effects. That's it. Devin gave this film an F, and he's like, forget
Mm.
about it. So, and we both do not recommend you go see this. All right.
No.
See, watch Marvel, DC. Shoot, watch Blank Man. All right, watch that.
Go take a nap. Don't bother with any of this.
Yeah, that is our review for The Samaritan. Thank you for clicking on this video, watching us talk about this movie. If you could do us a favor, go ahead and hit that subscribe button right down there. All right, it really does help us out. And if you liked what we said about The Samaritan, hit that thumbs up. It really does help out the channel. Or you can hit that thumbs down. Whichever you do, it is your opinion. But just remember one thing, it is mostly wrong. See you guys in another super video. Get it? Super?
Yeah, I
Super
get it.
hit.
Yeah, we get it.